Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. As you guys are coming in, you guys know that we just went live talking about Wendy Williams being incapacitated permanently, etc. That's after I had already did 3 pre-uploads earlier today. Posted all up and down my community wall. So my notifications are completely shot to utter hell. All right. I think you want to get 3 sets of notifications in a 24-hour period on YouTube. So I'm all out of those. All right. But the way that we can compensate from that, the way we can combat that is by thumbing up right here. Okay. Use the same fingers y'all use to click and to type to hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So whether you are a bush babe or the replay gang, or you're actively in these YouTube streets with me in real time, I need you guys to thumbs the hell out of the like button, bully, and beat the hell out of that button, baby. Okay? Teamwork makes the dream work. Speaking of teamwork making the dream work, shout out to all the new subbies because we're working over here. Love you guys a long time. Couldn't do this without you guys. So we are headed over and beyond, baby. We're on to greatness. Also, make sure that you guys' notification system is set to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the king is kanging. And last but not least, please share the stream out to whatever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Facebook, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Child, what's going on, YouTuberations? What's going on, Andrew? Hey, San. Hey, Ian Gardner. What's going on, Shauna? Hey, y'all. Once again, my notifications are shot to hell. Most people are probably going to see this live stream in the replay because they're not getting notified, which is dumb as hell. But please thumbs up so that we can notify folk and get the Conscious crew up in the building. All right. I do have a special guest that's going to be joining me, which is no other than Reckless the Logic himself. What's going on, Reckless? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Welcome. What's going on? Tell the people how you feel and where they can find you at on these social media streets.
Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Land of Reckless Logic. I'm feeling good. I'm actually feeling very positive. I've been doing some inner work. I've been really doing some spiritual workings, but I'm feeling good.
And speaking of that inner work, it dawned on me why you getting some interesting adversities on your end, and it's because we got like a really unique retrograde happening right now. So that makes every bit of sense why you got a little speed bump going over there. But light and love, honey, all things work for the well of the righteous and those bottoms who use condoms. Now, I want to issue a disclaimer here. Tony the Closer, damn, my Tony the Closer. God damn it, we were rooting for you, Closer. Y'all may or may not know Tony the Closer. He is a ex-NFL player as well as an amazing podcaster, content creator, overall entrepreneur, real estate. I mean, he does it all. The nigga is rich and wealthy as hell. And y'all know Tony the Closer ended up on our radar when he dragged the living smithereens out of Unhinged with Cardi B's money and her ex sledgehammer head ass assistant at the time, Miss Goddamn Chelsea, baby. Remember, Tony the Closer was gonna sue that ass and the whole nine, girl, drag them hoes for utter complete goddamn filth, baby. And I was reporting live, and Tony the Closer pulled up over here, baby, hit the link and all. It gave us a play-by-play. The nigga even sent the old nasty donation. I mean, the nastiest yet I have to receive on PayPal specifically. All right, so you know we a fan for life, baby. Tony the Closer is a Conscious Crew member. With that being said, I do have to issue a disclaimer because I like Tony the Closer. I'm gonna take it easy on my boy, but y'all know who I am. The pendulum swings from left to right. We hold everybody accountable, including our faves. So, with that being said, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be passionate, and I'm going to help my boy out because I know that he loved this woman. And I know he was so proud of this woman, Miss Nicole Lynel. And shout out to her, sis. Tony came up here. When he came up here, he was also, you know, supporting her boutique. I also was sending out links to you guys. Y'all guys were saying, oh, she got some cute stuff over here. She's been on the Tamron Hall show. I mean, she's self-made in and of her own right. Beautiful woman, and her and Tony have just had a real beautiful relationship, you know, all that black love stuff. So it was really dope to see a high earning 6-figure nigga dating a badass bitch and just all in love. You know, Tony the Closer wasn't even trying to be cool with it. You know, he was, you know, wearing his love on his sleeve, you know, just a romantic, he was just that, man. So when I heard the news that him and Nichole broke the fuck up and then broke up over some of the worst things that can break down a relationship, such as infidelity, I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my Father Jesus, not the nasty ass infidelity, not the community dick syndrome. Why we gotta do this? So, for those of you who've been missing it, baby, no, y'all don't have to take it easy on the chat. Y'all can get carried away. I know, you know, y'all can be a free thought and an open opinion, but you know, I'm gonna be, and when I say I'm gonna take it easy on Tony, my easy is, instead of bashing him over the head, I'm going to help my brother, man, to understand what you do in a situation like this. And hopefully there is some space and opportunity for him to reconcile with his ex, okay? So we're gonna be doing all that. How you cheat on your dream girl. We're gonna get into all that, KJ. We're gonna get into all that. All right. So for those of you who've been sleeping under a rock, courtesy of my girl, Coffee City, baby, always getting to the damn tea. She had posted to the community wall Tony the Closer basically spiraling on Twitter or Threads, I believe. It was either Threads or Twitter, one of them. I don't use Threads, so you know, either Twitter or Threads, child. So we gonna look at these receipts courtesy of Coffee City. Make sure you guys subscribe and support my girl over there doing what it is that we do as content creators, all right? Y'all, please thumbs up to this absolutely stuck, all right? Let me remove this banner real quick. Moderators, please encourage everybody to thumbs up the video. I really need that tonight, okay? Notifications are shot, all right? So Coffee City captions the receipts as Trasher K is going to have a field day with this shit, all right? Tony's now deleted post, all right? Courtesy of Threads, Tony the Closer says, I've apologized daily, sent hundreds of roses, thousands in Apple Pay, sent her favorite meal, came to our place we lived for past year and was told that she's getting a restraining order. In 3 years, never been aggressive or threatening. Oh my God, my heart hurts. Okay, it goes on. The fact that I said my needs weren't being met and went unheard is a problem for me. Expectations of a husband while single. Y'all be married without the ring based on expectations of society. Bruh, I kept everything for years in my hidden folder in my phone. Photos, videos, I never imagined it being seen. Entire image fake. I got a new phone. She checked the old phone, saw my hidden folder, and me messing around. Went from happy home to hate my fucking guts. Woman living in a world of broken men and want perfection without doing any work. Woman these days only around for good days. Run with a nigga gets bad or when shit gets bad. If I say I love you, it doesn't mean I expect you to be perfect. I understand I will have to go through shit with you, but together we will make it. I need a partner who understands I've been through trauma and can grow with me and not throw my black ass away. And Nicole's response to all this was, I know this uncomfortable season all too well. I can do all hard things. When everything is being stripped away, God is about to do something big. The journey, the rebuild will be epic. I am ready for my miracle. My wildest dreams have never exceeded his plans. Who wants to join me for our best year yet? Let's become the best versions of ourselves today to do. Prayer, grateful list, find Pilates class workout, prep lunch, meet with one-on-one clients, prep NL team, love up on me. Damn, baby. Tony, I gotta say, after all that, that was one of the worst apologies and attempts at reconciliation and remorse I've ever seen. Baby, you fucked up this apology like no wonder why you didn't contact Consciouztv and say, Conscious, how, bitch? How do I undo this, bitch? How I undo this? So, of course, I went over to Tony's Twitter, which I don't use, child. Okay, first of all, let me just say this, child. Here is Tony celebrating his girlfriend Nicole, then, who had put on a big old, I don't know whether this is, I assume this is Valentine's Day. She got the roses out. She got the daddy on the window, honey. She ready to put that puss on Tony for the night. And he says, I got the best girlfriend ever. Hashtag Big Daddy at Nicole Lynel with a heart. Check this video out. Damn, man. Okay, this is what she was doing for daddy. So Tony is still whipping ass on social media, combating folk who talking shit. So 9 hours ago, he said, oh, well, on the 29th, someone wrote to him and said, why don't men like Tony the Closer understand getting through bad times in a marriage doesn't include fucking cheating? Having the expectation to stay faithful when you made vows in front of family and friends to do just that does not mean you're expected to be perfect. Tony responded and said, I wasn't married. That was my girlfriend. I was wrong, but have a seat. Bad times don't exclude what you deem as bad, but to each their own. He also said to all fellas getting their life together, even through pain, loneliness, or disrespect, lock in. You're going to win. He also says, I'm not the one to play with. I will cook you. All right. Doing this as a black man to a white woman in Alabama is insane. Okay, she's putting on the story there. And I guess since the post says deleted, he's deleted since some of the tweets that we're getting from Coffee City. All right, so, man, and I did message my nigga Tony. He might end up pulling up. I don't know. But I did send him a message, sending him the StreamYard link. So we may be able to get the brother up here, all right? Okay. Let me say this, because this ain't going to be a long live either. Because it's a lot of things going on in this apology. So let's just unpack here. All right. Tony says in one tweet, the fact that I said my needs weren't being met and went unheard is a problem for me. Tony, oftentimes we hear men say things like this, right? My needs aren't being met. My needs weren't being met. I got questions, you know? Well, I don't have questions because you said that you told her your needs were being met. The issue with this statement, Tony, because I'm going to walk you through what femininity hears, okay? And I'm going to just walk you through what truth hears, okay? My needs aren't being met. Fine. You said your needs aren't being met a dozen times. Cool. Your needs are still not being met. That's okay. Do you know what's supposed to now rationally and logically happen? Once you've exhausted all attempts to figure out with your partner how your needs are to be met, you break up, baby. You break up, Tony. You have enough love for yourself and your partner to give them a dignified goodbye instead of trying to have your cake and eat it too. If she was worth still holding on to, despite you cheating on her, then it means that you had a lot more left in you to figure out what we need to do in order for my needs to get met. Whether that be us attend couples counseling, whether that be me attend personal therapy, whatever it is that's left in the black hat of the musician to pull out in an attempt to savage the thing that's the dearest to my heart, which is my relationship and love for you, Nicole. The fact that you didn't break up tells me one thing: you had a lot more in you than what you were giving yourself credit for. But for two, the fact that you cheated, brother, means that you have a character issue. You should be holding yourself to a standard of truth and transparency and integrity that transcends your ego. And having needs that are not being met is in no way, shape, or form in any universe an excuse to break and breach your oath and your covenant with Nicole. You have enough integrity as a man to say, you know what, baby, I'm about to do something that I know I'll regret if we still together. I have tried everything that I can to get my needs met. I've communicated with you. I've tried jacking my dick and just being sexual with my damn self to wait for you. You know, I've poured out everything that I can, and I know that at this point, based upon the circumstances, that this dick baby is in fact about to get its motherfucking needs met with or without you. So I'm gonna have to let you go because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to be that nigga to you, and I don't want to be that nigga to myself because I ain't that nigga. But I cannot deny that I am struggling. I am struggling beyond all else. And I know my limits. I know what I'm feeling right now. I know what my body is getting ready to do. So I'm going to let you go. I love you. I want to be with you. We on the right page right now. But because I'm not willing to be the nigga that cheated on you, but the nigga that was honest enough to tell you that I got needs that not being met and to allow you a dignified goodbye for now. That's what it is. And that's what you do, Tony. You don't get to cheat. You don't get to lie. You don't get to defile your relationship under the guise that I told you what I needed, I told you what I wanted, and you weren't giving it to me. Then what you do is you give it to yourself, but you give it to yourself in an integral way by properly breaking up and terminating the current relationship, which you're entitled to be honest in, you're entitled to be forthright in. And even if you felt she was not doing her part as your partner, the problem here is all too often, y'all, we believe that our integrity should be predicated upon someone else's behavior, which is a flawed way of thinking. Even if you felt she's denying my needs, she's being unfair to me, doesn't mean that you sacrifice your virtue and sacrifice your integrity just because you believe she's not upholding any. Integrity and character is our own. And we do the right thing because it's the right thing. We don't do the right or wrong thing because of what the other party is doing or not doing. You told yourself something in your mind about your needs that justified you then acting in a way that was unbecoming and untrustworthy in your relationship. And that is not about Nichole, Tony. That's about you. You got to address the rooty of the tootie about why in your brain, what in your mind could conceive of you justifying infidelity and secrecy and messing around with other women without being so honest with yourself that it brings you to be honest with her. And we just got finished talking about this, y'all, right? When it came to the Wendy Williams thing. Because guess what, y'all? I'm 39 years old. This is my last year in my 30s. I'll be 40 next year. I'm just too fucking grown. I'm so grown at this point that it feels sinful even. And by grown, I mean that there's a level of maturity in my mind. There's a level of maturity in my being that just has me doing the work in 4K. It has me doing the work in 4K. Because all of and most of our issues really have to do with self than they have to do with outside external parties. And the level of clear, the level of concise, the level of self you got to be in relationship to as a person is that you're so brutally, integrally honest and transparent with you that it defaults you to being brutally honest and transparent with other people. And if we're not being that level of honest with ourselves, that it compels us to be honest and transparent with others, then we ain't being honest enough. We ain't being clarified enough. We ain't in enough relationship to self. Because honesty starts with the great I, me. And when you're intentional about that, and your priority is that, that's the only way you can evangelize and do the right thing by others, which is when you're doing the right thing unto yourself. Everything comes back to self. Everything does. It's hardly ever about other people more so than it is ourselves. And according to spiritual laws, in fact, everybody in our lives is mirroring back to us and providing an opportunity for us to interact with aspects of our own psychology, aspects of our own mentality, aspects of our own inner condition. And the situations we find ourselves in expose us to ourselves, expose us to our condition. Because see, you can tell yourself a lot of bullshit when you're not in shit. Oh, baby, but it's the true test. It's the true test of a motherfucker's condition and inner awareness and integrity and character is going to be brought to full light when we in that shit. That obstacle brings us to an all-seeing eternal eye about what we are and who we are and why we are. So, Tony, I would strongly encourage you to really explore the concept of integrity and explore and get to the underbelly of why you found it okay to justify infidelity in the name of not getting your needs met. Because this is a bigger issue, Tony, than just your needs met. And I'm going to tell you how you fucked around and exposed yourself. Because you went on to say that I kept everything for years in my hidden folder in my phone. Photos, videos. I got a new phone and Nichole checked the old phone and saw my hidden folder and me messing around. So to your very admission, brother, it wasn't that it was just Nichole not meeting your needs, whatever those needs were. I'm going to assume that you're talking sexual needs because we don't have a lot of context here. But you also just admitted that you hid these things for years and you were archiving. You archived the worst parts of your humanity. You archived your brokenness. You chronicled it. You photoed it. You videoed it. And you preserved it to make it worse, Tony. Hold on, y'all. You chronicled it. Brother, what I tell you, this ain't about Nichole, baby. This ain't about Nichole. This ain't about Nichole. Your behavior is about something much deeper that you are refusing to take a hardcore masculine look at. Why, as a man, why, as someone who loves another person, why would someone who is building towards something intimate and meaningful with another person want to chronicle the way they are abusing and violating their vows, their intimacy, that trust? That don't got shit to do with Nichole. It's already bad enough the fact that you've been fucking around, that you've been messing around, but then you press the gas and then some. And you want to savor the flavor? You want to preserve what you doing with these bitches? You want to chronicle and remember and be able to go back to the behavior that you know hurts your partner, which is why you're not being honest about it. That's not about her. And if Tony was to sit in front of a therapist, let me tell you why people don't like therapy. You know why people don't like therapy? Because true quality therapy does not allow us to sit before the council and make things exclusively about the external. It just don't. We have to ask ourselves hard questions. We have to pull up the spiritual shovel and dig through and dig through and dig through and dig through ourselves, dig through our experiences, dig through our humanity to figure out exactly why the fuck we got here. You know how the fuck I know? Because I'm a bitch who is profuse about shadow work. Stay fucking digging through and digging through and digging through. I would have not have been able to carve out anything in my life, from my coin to my privilege, to the level of friendship, to the level of romance, to the level of brotherhood, to the level of anything that I have ascended to, without doing that work, without staying crying in myself, frustrated, dealing with the frustrating aspects of what I'm attracting, what I'm unconsciously participating in. And I think in this pussy ass society, we don't do enough heart-wrenching, agonizing self-work. And we largely live in systems that don't push us to indulge in the level of self-awareness that we need in order to make sure that we're well and that everything that we're doing in everybody else's life is ultimately well. See, these tweets are very revealing, but they can be very empowering if Tony knows what to do with, because I don't know whether he knew what he was really revealing. I don't know whether his attempt in these tweets were a play to extract sympathy. Well, first of all, let me just say this. I would have never even brought this to social media. Social media is, I just said this in my interview with Larry Reed. I don't talk about my personal life anymore on social media. Social media is just not going to get that from me. This is not the motherfucking space or the place. Social media don't give a fuck. Social media don't know us. Therefore, there's no context for them to pledge an allegiance to seeing things our way entirely. The only people that can give true grace in your life when you're going through hardship are the people who are in relationship to you, because they know you. They know you beyond your mistakes. They know you beyond your attitude. They know you when they know who's you. Social media don't. We are a click and a motherfucking view for these people. We ultimately are court gestures and we're just content for folk. We're just fucking content for folk. So I hate that he even brought this shit to social media, for one. But he did. And these tweets are very fascinating because I don't know whether Tony really believes the logic that you can extract from what he's saying, or rather this was just a ploy to make himself feel better. Because sometimes when we fuck up real bad, we want to feel better about ourselves, because the truth and the reality and severity of our choices and actions just are that raw and polarizing that sometimes we can't even take what we've done. But nonetheless, there's information in these tweets. And rather Nichole listens, or rather Nichole is willing, or rather Nichole sympathizes or empathizes with Tony for himself, there's valuable information in what he's revealing about himself and what he's revealing about his psychology in what he put out on social media. And I would encourage him to take that information and fucking run with it, because that information is going to make his ass better. Now, last but not least, let me say this before I let my partner Reckless jump in this motherfucker. this is what I want to say about apologies. I'm a same gender loving man. First of all, I'm a man. I'm a same gender loving man. I deal with men. I live with men. I fuck on men. I'm in love with men. You know, I'm in community with motherfucking men. Oftentimes, what we do as men, whether gay or straight, is we do deflect. We deflect to take the edge off. And we're in our ego, still trying to get our way and get our needs met by trying to low-key convince the other party that you somehow are responsible for the position that I've put us in. That can be a problem. I'm going to tell you, the best male apology I ever heard in my motherfucking life, and I have said it 1,001 trillion motherfucking times on social media, is from Jay-Z when Beyonce was in the same position with his ass. Lemonade was birthed out of Beyonce surviving Jay-Z's infidelity. I remember listening to interviews and the songs on 411. And let me tell you, baby, if I was Beyonce, bitch, the way that Jay-Z humanized the living fuck out of Beyonce and held himself 100% accountable without making it about her was enough to have made me go back and want to suck his dick if I was Beyonce, baby. I would have had to take divorce off the motherfucking paper, baby, because you just don't even see men manning at that motherfucking level. And let me tell you how he did this shit. Because I'm going to conjoin him. And what's that? What's the gospel chick's name? Sister. It was the one who was going through infidelity too. It was playing out on their reality show.
Tia.
Who?
Tia?
Is she the one who was getting cheated on?
Yes.
Okay, and she was shooting up the car and shit.
Girl.
Okay, yeah, no, okay. So I'm about to make a hybrid out of Jay-Z and make a hybrid out of Tia's husband.
Oh, Tina. There we go.
Or Tina's husband. Hold on. Let me get this man. Hold on. Let me get this man's name right. What's the husband name? What is Tina's husband name?
You have to look that bad boy up.
Hold on. Let me look this man up. Tina from Mary husband. Baby, even Google know what the hell I'm about to do. Teddy. Okay, Teddy Campbell. All right, baby. Even Google already had that nigga lined up. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Let me get my screen straight. All right. Yeah, Teddy Campbell. Let me tell you, baby. These niggas, baby, they laid the blueprint. But before I lay the blueprint, let me say this. The biggest way to avoid having to be sorry is to be right. So, men, just do right. And when you can't do right, be integral enough to put yourself in a position to where nobody else will have to pay for the next onslaught of choices you're about to make. Do right. Break up with folk, let people go, divorce, walk away from the relationship so that you can't be objectively wrong in nobody else's story. Because even if you walk away from somebody who still wants to be with you, but you got to take care of yourself and do what you got to do, and it's hurting they fucking feelings because you want to break up because they not providing your needs, you ain't truly a bad guy. You're not objectively a bad guy. You are never a bad guy when you do you with integrity and you do the right thing unto yourself. If you doing right unto yourself, and once again, when I say right, I'm talking about integrally. When you are doing the right thing, communicating how you should, creating boundaries how you should, and walking away righteously, walking away honestly before you do what you're about to do, It doesn't matter how much that person is pained by your absence. You are not a objective bad guy in their story. But when you cheat and when you lie, you become a real bad guy in their story. And you know why you become a bad guy? Because you have choices. It's not like you had to lie. You chose to lie. It's not like you had to cheat. You chose to cheat. And what you could have did was become so miserable that you just let me know that you got to go. And this relationship can't go on another day. I might be hurt. I might want you to stay. But at the end of the day, once I'm done processing my hurt, I have to respect you for terminating this relationship with integrity. Not by hurting my ego and breaking my trust through the pain of infidelity, which can be very consequential. Because infidelity is not just an emotional violation, it's a physical violation. When you cheat, you participate in risky behavior that can lead to somebody being pregnant, that can lead to contracting STIs. There's too many consequences. And that's why I can't be mad at nobody for breaking up with somebody for infidelity, because it's also a safety risk. It's a matter of physical safety as well, not just emotion and mental, but it's physical. Now, Jay-Z and Teddy Campbell. I remember Jay-Z saying in an interview, when Beyonce wanted to basically bring all their personal issues to the public in the form of art, aka lemonade, his heart dropped to the bottom of his goddamn stomach. Of course, he was petrified, he was mortified, and he knew he was going to be dragged from one end of heaven to the other end of hell. Because who in the fuck right cheats on Beyonce? Who cheats on somebody good? Period, right? But he said, because he had to think about that for a minute. Like, nigga, you about to put the worst parts of me on fucking blast for the world to see. But then he realized, and this is a simplistic maturity, there would be nothing for you to work through or for you to put on blast if it wasn't for my actions. And if I am as sorry as I'm confessing, and if I am as committed to getting my partner back, then it means me leaning into and absorbing all of the consequences and repercussions of my actions. And if it means that my woman has to put this shit in the form of a book, a play, if she got to talk about it, if she's got to act it out through art, whatever it is her process is, her alchemical process is, with the hope that it'll bring her ass back to me. If I am that remorseful and I'm not clear about the fact that I don't want to lose my family, I don't want to lose my wife, Beyonce, I have to fully support what she needs for her full healing. Let's go to Teddy Campbell. Same thing with him. Multiple infidelities, blah, blah, blah. Tina, mad as all hell, bitch. What's love got to do with it, girl? I remember seeing Teddy in his confessionals saying, you know what? I did this to her. I did this. And the same hurt that I committed to putting in her, I'm gonna love out of her. And I don't give a fuck how long I gotta be wrong. I don't give a damn what the demands are. I don't care what the contract stipulations are in order for me to get my wife back. But I put this pain and this torment in her. And I'm going to love her. And I'm going to love it the fuck out of her. I'm going to love that pain out of her motherfucking ass. Which simply means that I'm going to surrender, just like Jay-Z, to the entire full gamut of the consequences and repercussions of my actions. And I'm going to make myself fully emotionally and materially available to support my loved one through this valley of the shadow of fucking death. I'm not going to defend myself. I'm not going to shift blame. I'm not going to make what I did about her. I am wrong. I am wrong. I am wrong every motherfucking day. I am wrong. I am wrong. I am wrong. There is never any space to make the other or suggest to the other that what you did is about them. You totally stand and surrender to the painful and you allow yourself to be crucified. You allow yourself to be shamed. You allow yourself to just be hung out there unto her mercy. And guess what? In both of these instances, these niggas got their motherfucking woman back. Wait a minute. Is Teddy and Tina ass still married? Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure, bitch. I want to state facts here.
I believe so.
Tina and Teddy still together.
I could be wrong.
Yep, she's still married, bitch. Let me tell you. The scripture say. The scripture say. Well, I don't know what the hell they say. I ain't read them in a minute, but only perfect love can cast out fear and doubt. And I know that this is something that a lot of men don't know how to do because of testosterone, because of ego, have a natural inclination to defend, to fight, to protect one's own self, one's own vulnerability. But when you are truly standing in the power and the nakedness of your actions and the impact of those actions, and you're standing in total awareness of your love for the other person who you've hurt, who you've shamed, who you humiliated, you prioritize their upliftment and sacrifice of your own liberation. That is the only redemption there is. To break an oath and break in covenant is for you. The only way, the only possible way to the light, Caroline, is to give up you for me. But as long as you're clinging to a you, long as you're remembering an I amidst what you've done to me, as long as you can still conceive of a you amidst the avalanche of bullshit that you got on top of me, I can't trust you because that's the same you that fucked around on me. That's the same you that violated me. That's the same you. And how can I trust the you you're trying to preserve when that's the you that sacrificed us? So now you got to be sacrificed. And the only worthy sacrifice is sacrificing yourself, sacrificing this self, coming under total destruction of that you. Baby, you gonna have to be reborn again. I don't want to see nothing familiar as it relates to you. Because just like I got to go through an alchemical process, baby, to become again, to resurrect again, the villain got to do the same thing, baby. And there ain't no other act. You can talk to your blue in the face. You can tweet all day and night. You can do everything that Tony said he did. Tony said, I done apologize daily. I done sent hundreds of roses, thousands in Apple Pay, sent her favorite meal, came to our place that we live for the past year and was told she's getting I done did it all. And you know what you do? You continue to do it. You do it, and 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 you do it until you're not in love with her ass no more. That's the only time you cease fire. But as long as you love her, and as long as you call yourself standing in your love and standing in your awareness of what you did wrong, you do it until the fucking end. Whether you got to do this for a whole year, for 2 years, for 5 years, for 3 years, because see, what she gonna be looking for is just how sorry your ass is. And she got every right to test the limitations of your love now that you done had the unmitigated audacity to test hers. And she gonna see whether you gonna fold or whether you gonna hold once you get to the threshold of your desperation. She gonna look for the substance of your proclamations by seeing if you're going to still commit even past your own limitations, even past your own guilt, your own shame, your own sense of self. That's going to be the only proof that you are laying down before the altar, butt ass, bona fide, spiritually, emotionally, mentally naked. And sometimes you don't even get a person back when you do that. But what I'm making a room for, an argument for, is that it's the only way. It's the only way. Okay, so Tony is inboxing me right now. Tony, I told you in the message, I'm only looking at what you posted. Because Tony said you wrong as hell to my hidden folder was before we ever met. Right. But you said here, bro, I kept everything for years in my hidden folder in my phone. Photos, videos I never imagined be viewed. Then you said I got a new phone. She checked the old phone, saw my hidden folder and me messing around. So that's what I'm commenting on. Went from happy home to hate my guts. So you suggested that what was in your phone was not just old escapades with old hoes and ex-girlfriends, but that you were messing around and had archived some of that. That's why I told you in the inbox, you got the link. Come up here and inform me because I only got what you put out there. Nonetheless, it don't change what the fuck I'm saying. When you wanna make something right, Whether you the boy, you the girl, whether you the homo, the hetero, whether you the black, whether you the white in a situation. You're never going to get far making the other individual wrong. We all know how it feels. This issue has came up in my damn friendships, hell. Where all of a sudden now, I got an issue with you. And then you gonna take the opportunity on my truth day to talk to me about some shit you now claim you want to say to me too. Oh, no, baby. Pick a number. You can't conveniently show up with some shit to say to me about me on the day that I decided that we gonna talk about your ass on today. We can't stand it. We can't stand it because even if what that person is saying back is still valid, it still seems all too convenient for you to be addressing me about our relationship on the day that I'm addressing you about your bullshit in the relationship. People are always going to be aroused in their ego when they perceive themselves to be the one that's hurt. And then you make that conversation about them. It's not necessary. And I actually find it easier shit to just say, I'm fucking sorry. I'm sorry you hurt. I'm sorry you perceive it the way you perceive it. What can I do to make it better? And then that's the commitment. That's the commitment. It's committing to what makes it better. Not defending oneself. Not saying, well, I did this because you did that, etc. Because look, I want Tony to get his girl back. That's why this video is titled, How You Apologize. Whether you cheated once, whether you didn't cheat at all, whether you just archived a bunch of sexy shit in your damn old phone and found it. But see, the issue, Tony, because see, you got to look at this from her side. Even if you were to say, this is a bunch of old shit on my phone, the fact that you knew to hide it is where the violation is. Because anything that you don't believe is truly wrong, anything that you don't believe is truly a violation, isn't something that has to be in a hidden folder. It's something that can be brought to the table. It's something that can be communicated with to your partner. It's something that you can be out in the open with your partner. It's not something that ends up in a hidden folder, tucked away in a closet somewhere under the mattress, downstairs in the attic. If I was Nicole, I would feel the same way. You can't tell me that what's in this phone is harmful if you chose to hide it from me, because that suggests that you know that you've done something that's out of order, or that you're doing something that's out of order. If this isn't harmful behavior, if this isn't an issue, why is it hidden from me? Why aren't we able to talk about this? Why didn't I know about this? Hell, I might have been with the shits and said, hey, put some of this shit on OnlyFans, baby. We can make a cute coin. Keep the lights on. Let's repurpose some of this old ass shit. But you didn't give me the opportunity to feel okay about it because you decided that it should be kept and yet hidden from me. And now you've opened up a trillion channels in my mind as the other intimate partner as to why that is and what that means. And now I got to ask 50 more questions to myself, like, what else are you hiding? These are the predicaments that we put ourselves in when we just don't operate with clarity. When we just don't operate with transparency. This is how we keep ourselves out of trouble. If you want to keep it, you got to be honest enough to say, I want to keep this and this is what it is, blah, 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 blah. Are you okay with that? And if they not, and it means that much to you to fucking keep it, then you get to decide we can't be together, because keeping this content is important to me. Keeping this content in this phone is important to me. You know what I found to be interesting about humans? I found that most people actually have the capacity to deal with the honesty of it all. People still might be hurt temporarily, but ultimately people can respect what's real. But once you put people in a situation to where they have to question things, it's pretty much a slow downward spiral from there. The only way to truly build trust is to be consistent in who we are across the board. Across the board. It's the continual practice and commitment to show up transparent across the board, for better or for worse. Even transparent about the things that I know might make you uncomfortable. At some point in a relationship, I may want to experience other people sexually, not romantically. I got to be honest enough to say that, if that becomes a conviction of mine. I got to be woman and man enough to accept the consequences of being honest about that shit, because you might say hell the fuck no and haul ass, but hell, those are the repercussions of honesty. However, it's nonetheless the practice of integrity. And we must always uphold it so that nobody ever has a reason to find us to be a bad guy in their story. And that responsibility is on us. I think I've said enough. Reckless, your thoughts?
Now that he has provided tad bit more of context, now I have a tad bit more questions, and also at the same time kind of rearranging my talking points. But I also do want to give a disclaimer as well. I actually like Tony the Closer. I love that he did drag the living hell out of you know who for what she did. So I love him for that. So
iconic, legendary.
So with that being said, what I'm about to say, of course, I'm gonna dial it back a couple of notches because I do like the brother. Very cool from what I've seen. Makes very positive content, and on top of that, a lot of the people that he does actually call out, he be on point. So he has somewhat of a moral compass. Cool. Now I'm just gonna piggyback on tab of the things that you said initially, and then I'm gonna try to bring in certain things. I guess since he's added that context of it being a old folder full of old content and stuff, so now I have more questions surrounding the healing part.
Okay,
so now
and my question is, if it's just that, then what does this tweet actually mean?
Which one?
She checked the old phone and saw my hidden folder and me messing around. Because messing now around,
I guess from what I understood is that it's old videos of him messing with his old, Johns or whatever back in the day.
Okay,
but see, he kept that content.
And we're making assumptions because we don't know, right? Because that's what I'm asking, because that context ain't there. It it says she found an old phone of my hidden folder and be messing around. That sentence reads at surface messing around on your relationship. Because I don't know Nicole, but I want to say that I don't think she would be this pressed if it was just an old phone that had a bunch of stuff in it from previous dealings with other women before her.
Well, do you think or believe
But
that?
but once again, back, I don't know her, so
You're right.
she may be that girl.
Or I was gonna say as well, just playing devil's advocate, is that what happened if, just like how we thought that this was present or this was within the relationship, or some of these videos were made within the relationship, and I already come up with the conclusions in my head, and with that being said, we're done. And so, in attempt of him trying to apologize, the yada yada yada, she just doesn't want to hear it. Do you believe that could have possibly been a?
Okay, say that one more time.
Okay, so what? Just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
What happened if she did come across the old gallery, the old phone, and with the gallery and all the other stuff inside, and when she seen it, she probably already made the assumption like some of these heifers obviously happened within our relationship, and when she saw the content, she already had her mind made up as in, oh no, I'm done with this. And then so when he goes to try to clarify, she already had her mind made up. Do you believe that could have been a?
Oh yeah, I mean, anything can be the case, but see, all of that could have also been avoided by what I said. But if you're transparent and it wasn't hidden to begin with, and it wasn't something you're chronicling, storing, and putting away without your partner's awareness, this is something that could have been completely prevented just with transparency. Because now that she's had to, upon herself, stumble into these findings, and then she didn't have a context for what happened, and it was intentionally kept from her, as he said in his tweets. Yeah, he kept it from her. He says, for years in my hidden folder, in my phone photos, I've never imagined it being viewed. I got a new phone. She checked the old phone, saw my hidden folder, me messing around, went from happy home, da 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 da. Okay.
So now,
because to be honest, I see this. Okay, if we're not talking about cheating, and this is just about sex videos, sexting, all this shit, nude pictures of other women in your phone, etc., outside of our relationship, not in the context of infidelity. As like for me, and once again, it's for me, and it's, you know, I ain't got no right to tell nobody else how to fuck, you know, like how they should perceive whatever. But for me, that wouldn't be so much of a problem that it results in me breaking up with my nigga. You know, not some outside shit, especially. But what I will say is that it would be very important for me to understand why the fuck you keeping this shit. What is the context of you holding on to this shit? And I would make it a point to let it be known that, you know, you need to be talking to me about everything. I don't want no hidden shit under your mattress. I don't want no hidden shit in a boat. I don't. If you want me to trust you, and this is supposed to be the highest level of intimacy that we're trying to build toward as intimate partners to each other, from this point on, you know, I'll let this one slide. But from this point the fuck on, you best to be practicing 100% transparency with me, or else I am done.
But now with that context, now for me, it solidifies, based on the context that we have now, it solidifies the statement. If we were to take it for the truth or whatever, we're just going by what we see. The statement saying he hasn't had his needs met. Now that, to me, that really solidifies for me in my head, solidifies that his needs that probably weren't being met were probably just sexual, I'm assuming. Because the only context I can think in my head of why a person would keep sexual content, and the person is making it very clear that it was no cheating inside of the relationship. Now, I will say this, that there was nothing, at least to my understanding right now, there wasn't nothing to say that he wasn't attempting to. He just, to my understanding, the way I read is that it just wasn't successful, or I haven't done it, at least not yet, or whatever. But with that context, that lets me know, at least in my head, that it probably was just sexual needs, and he probably kept that content for his own personal time, doing what he do whenever she couldn't do what she had, quote unquote, was going to do to him. So I guess that's the context I'm kind of coming up in my head. I could be right, could be wrong. But another thing I do want to say as well, in terms of the conversation surrounding healing and therapy, is that at the end of the day, yes, your healing and your trauma is left up to you to be able to fix. And when this is like the perfect example for me, and I'm just going to use this for example purposes, is a perfect example of why if anybody has ever heard me speak about me being agitated or me being annoyed with the word accountability, this is the perfect example, only because of the simple fact that in his response and also in other things that I've seen, that there seems to be the conversation surrounding accountability versus blame is something that really needs to be had. Because let me read this. Share my screen in 2.5 seconds. I'm gonna read this real quick.
Y'all thumbs up the video. Thumbs up, share.
Let me know when you're ready.
Girl, you need to PowerPoint presentations.
Period, bitch. So yeah, because for me, I try to make this, whatever. So accountability versus blame, the key difference is blame is an action of attributing fault or assigning responsibility to an individual or group. In contrast, accountability involves acknowledging our role in situations and taking ownership of our decisions. Now, right here, I wanted to get down here because I was reading it or whatever. Now, it says the act of blaming can be defined as assigning fault or responsibility for a negative outcome. It involves finger pointing and toxic behavior focused on finding someone to blame for a negative situation separate from who is accountable. Blame is used to make people feel wrong about something they did or didn't do by identifying causes in a way that is punitive and destructive. At its core, blame is rooted in a form of punishment rather than understanding. Now, the reason I wanted to read that is because the understanding part, and that's all I wanted to read so far, because I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. But the reason I want to do that is because in terms of, this is the reason why I get annoyed with the conversation surrounding blame and accountability, is because what I've noticed for me specifically is that when people use the word accountability, they actually start to use the tactics or the methods of blaming and shifting and pushing blame onto others, instead of actually standing in that situation or standing in that truth and actually owning it, being 10 tones down and having ownership of that. Now we can also, now I do remember that he was speaking, he spoke on him, all the things that he had to do to try to make it up to her. He apologized, he bought her roses, he cashed after her, But here's the thing and the gag is that there has been other celebrities and other people that have done the exact same thing. People like Offset, people like Waka Flocka, people like Wyclef Jean, Jason Maxill, which is the husband of Brandy Maxill from Basketball Wives, Jay-Z. All these people have done the same thing, but there's a distinction between Jay-Z and the rest of them that I know of, is that when it comes down to someone like Jay-Z, like you said previously, he walked into the fire. He walked in and accepted that this is my wife or my girlfriend or whoever. She's mad and she's angry, and I'm gonna let her be angry, and whatever is needed for her to get past this, and then I'm willing to accept that and allow her to embody that as well. Now, the issue is, at least initially, or I'm gonna say even when I've seen his response and everything, he was kind of, in my personal opinion, he was kind of handling it like Offset. What I mean by that is that even when Offset went and cheated on Cardi B, he would, once Cardi B, quote unquote, was putting him in a doghouse and was mad at him, he would tweet out and said, I guess y'all won, or y'all won, as in trying to guilt trip the general public for what happened between him and Cardi B. And the reason why I'm making the comparison is because when I looked at the tweets, or when I looked at the information that was put out there of Tony the Closer and the way he explained things, it was like he was trying to use his lack of healing, his trauma, and his needs not being met as a way to push blame elsewhere. Because, like it was said previously, yes, your needs cannot be met. And yes, you may have issues or problems within relationships. 100% understandable. No one can tell you how you feel. But the issue is that there are options for you to also take without cheating. You can leave. You can go to therapy. It's a lot of things you can do, but instead of cheating. So once the issue is not so much of your needs not being met. I'm gonna say in terms of the general public and the people on the outside, and I'm also gonna say even her. The issues is not so much of your needs being met. It's so much of the cheating aspect. Assuming it's cheating, the cheating aspect or whatever it is, whatever the hell I'm pissed off, is that other aspect that really threw people over or whatever. So if you really want to make things right, I will agree with Conscious is that you're gonna have to move it like Jay-Z. And it was something that you said previously, Conscious, where you said talked about the Jay-Z, so the conversation surrounding Jay-Z of how he walked into the fire and he allowed Beyonce to go through the motions and feel how she wants to feel and do whatever was necessary and humanized her. The thing that I was very interesting is that you said that Beyonce or whoever had the right to make him go through it. It didn't matter if it was a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, as long as whatever it took for her to get to the healing point. The thing is that another reason why women, or I'm gonna say people in general, want you to go through that phase is because they want to see consistency. And the issue is that based upon what we're seeing right now, that consistency was very much short-lived, only because now that, to my understanding, this just happened, but now that shit has hit the fan, and to my understanding, it hasn't even been a year, 2 years, or whatever, you're already showing that I have trauma. People can't stay married because or be engaged or stay together because people always want to be here for the good times and not the bad times, and I'm just gonna push blame and not my needs not being met and yada yada. It's not really helping your case if your objective is to get your woman back. You get what I'm saying?
I'm glad you brought up the Beyonce piece again, because this is the thing that men gotta be reminded of. When y'all bring up Beyonce, bring up Jay-Z's commitment to healing up that hurt as well. Because men like to put the onus on women to make it make sense and to kind of like they have all the responsibility in the situation to just get over it and be okay. When y'all use the Beyoncés of the world as an example for your woman, when your relationship is in breakdown, also remember what your role is as Jay-Z in making your wrong right, because Jay-Z just didn't sit around and hurt Beyonce and she just decided because she's a simp to stay with her husband. He was willing to be tried by fire, lay into total transparency and honesty and accountability. And then through her own alchemical process of consciousness, decided what she wanted, and if this was a man she could rebuild with and forge ahead with. But that was heavily predicated on Jay-Z's behavior following his wrongs. So men just gotta remember that part too. Don't just hail up Beyonce as this is the queen and the shining example of sticking beside your man, because you got to use Jay-Z equally as a shining example of what it looks like to unwrong your damn woman. To unwrong your woman.
And I was also going to say an important part of apologizing or apologies is the big part is understanding. Like, so for me, I used to work in marketing, et cetera. But I noticed that when I would go to different facilities or go to different houses and talk to different types of people from different backgrounds and even change up my marketing tactics and stuff like that, because I know certain communities respond like this, other communities respond with this. I know other groups of people respond to this, other groups of people respond to this. And one thing that I found that was very instrumental in my journey in marketing was using words I understand, and then not only using those words, but also illustrating how I may understand the shoes the other person may have been in or are in. I think that's one instrumental part in apologies, because if you say I'm sorry, now I'm just making assumptions. I don't know what you said or what you did behind the scenes, but you said I'm sorry. Keep in mind too, apologies and understanding that, yes, how are you sorry? Why are you sorry? I'm sorry because I did this. It affected you like this. I was out of line like this. I completely understand, because I know if you would have done that to me, I would have been feeling the same way. I'm giving you the compassion. Giving you the space and the opportunity to go through what you need to go through. I was dead ass wrong, yada, 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 yada. Now, another thing that you just spoke about as well is that a part of the understanding aspect of an apologist also comes along with the actions. And this is where you messed up as well too, which is the reason why I brought up Offset, because another person that said they were sorry for infidelity or for whatever they did in relationship, because remember, we don't know all the context, but this also Offset is also another person that said he was sorry, and then he cashed at Cardi B, he bought her gifts, he was showing up at her shows, he was showing strong dedication, but as soon as he got her back, he started doing the same thing all over again. And the part of that is apologies, but also is tied in with your actions. Are you going to be consistent with how you feel, or you being sorry?
And let
have
me
you learned?
interject right there. This is why, as I said before, you got to know when it comes to apologizing, when the pain runs deep, when the violation runs deep, that the other partner is not just going to be looking at your ass through a honeymoon phase. No, ma'am. They're going to bring you to the brink of your wits' ends. And that's why I was saying what I was saying earlier. They're going to watch to see if you survive the threshold of trying to repent. If you bow out after a few weeks of trying to get a motherfucker back, oh yeah, you're done. You are cooked broccoli, baby. Don't even waste your time if you think that a few weeks is enough for me to realize how great and how safe I am with you after whatever you've done to cause breakdown in the relationship. No. We're going to play the waiting game. We're going to play the waiting game, baby. And the only thing that I'm going to be able to measure as a substance to your apology is going to be time. So I'm going to see how much time you got in you to, as you say, be apologetic, be respectful, and just move forward in your love for me without demanding anything from my ass. Because remember, you're the one who fucked up. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. This ain't a us. We ain't in breakdown. You in breakdown with me. You in breakdown with me. Because at the end of the day, even if I denied your needs, you still had a choice to leave. You had a choice to let go. That's the choice you had. You didn't make that choice. And now you're rushing to be at my house with roses. You're rushing to be at my home. You're pulling out all the stops. That's what you actually could have done to keep me. You chose a hitting phone over just being with me, the love of your life. You chose messing around or whatever the hell it was over all that passion you now have. But the bottom line is, you could have just left. If you wanted to be the good guy, because that was the only way to be the good guy. Is by letting me know that you're going. And since Larry wanted to put a little bit of our business out there, let me expound. since he wanted to tell y'all that we were in friendship breakdown and had been in friendship breakdown for some time. When it was time to have the conversation that put everything back on the railroads, Larry did everything that I said and then some. The things that broke down the friendship for me wasn't no excuses. Wasn't no this, that, and the third. Laid right on in it. Laid 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 in it. So the emotional approach, it was well. Because it was total accountability without some stupid ass reasons, because all that shit just makes shit worse. And then it was the commitment to be aware of the things shared and discussed, etc. Because for me, all relationships are the same. They all take the same thing. They take effort, they take energy, they take trust, and they take mutuality. They take integrity. Whether you're talking about family relationships, platonic relationships, interpersonal relationships, the principles are the same for them all. Because the same reasons I would walk away from my nigga is the same reason I would walk away from any of my friends. The same reason I would walk away from any of my friends are the same motherfucking I walk from any motherfucking relative. The rules are the fucking same. What happens in those relationships are different. One is intimate, one is platonic, one is family, but the rules are the fucking same. The rules are the same, baby. There ain't nothing that I'm going to allow my nigga to get away with that I will allow a friend to get away with. There ain't nothing that I will allow a friend to get away with that I would allow a relative to get with, baby. The rules of engagement are the fucking same. All the reasons I would reward a person for are the same. All the reasons I would walk away from a person are all the same. It's just that the nature of their relationship is different. The type of relationship is different, but the rules nonetheless are the same. And I think that more people, I don't think we've been taught how to properly apologize. I think that, look, when I watch Teddy Campbell and Jay-Z just bypass their egos, I mean, I had to really respect that. Because when you're dealing with like guilt and you're dealing with loss and you're dealing with a situation in your life where there's a breakdown, as you're trying to move forward with the person you love, there's another part of your ego telling you, fuck that person. Who the fuck are they? I ain't gonna kiss their motherfucking ass. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. That's why it's so necessary for people to see people pretty much on their face. That's why it's so important for the wrong person to bow all the fuck the way down. Because that's the only sign that you are truly operating outside of the ego and completely present in your love for one and in your accountability for two. If you're holding on to you while trying to make things right with me, as I said earlier, that's the same version of self that did all this fuck shit. So why would I be impressed? That you need to be destroying you. You need to be disintegrating that version of you. Because the same person that justified I ain't kissing their ass was the same person that justified moving in silence and moving in secrecy. See, all that's tied up into the same ego that's saying, hey, I'm a call one more time. I'm a pull out the stop one more time. If they don't see it, fuck it. That's the same vibration and frequency of self that also put us in this predicament. It's all a part of the same version of self. That's why I understand why people don't be moved and people don't be motherfucking impressed. The audacity for you to give me 3 weeks of your best over a situation that ultimately you're responsible for. And then to still try to control the situation by telling us what we gonna do. Like, I understand why people are not moved. Nothing gonna move me but your motherfucking humility. And if I see me anywhere in your conversation about your fucking self, you can count on your ass that there will never be a we. Count on it. Because when I'm standing in my shit, I'm gonna have to stand in my shit. And not make that his shit. Vice versa. And I ain't saying that is easy, but it can be done. And when you love what you love enough, and you humble and you accountable 100% across the board, these things are accomplishable. There are people who rarely see this out of men. And it is a rare find out of men, which is why I have to champion behind the Teddys and the Jay-Z's, because wow. Because we don't see that. But it can be done. And that's the only way to fucking do it. And here's the thing about making up with somebody, right? Because Tony has tweeted outward and he's involved social media in a private matter, that's another thing for your partner to use. To be gaslit by, like, okay, you done got out here and now you're trying to make it seem like I'm tripping. And that I'm crazy. And I'm the bad guy. And even if I am crazy, and even if I am tripping, for you to involve these people that we don't know, who not in our fucking relationship, and allow them to form a fucking opinion about me in a attempt to make yourself feel better, it's just another violation. Like, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. There's something else I want to deal with in what Tony said. He said, women are living in a world of broken men and want perfection without doing the work. I'm going to tell you what's sad about this statement is that one part of this sentiment is true. Men are fucking broken. Black men, very broken. But the problem is we know it and don't do shit about it. We go toting that luggage and that baggage around, thinking that somebody else should make space in their wellness for our brokenness. That somebody else should make space in their wellness for the inconvenience of our trauma. And we have gone on generationally like this in terms of couple ideology. And it's nasty work on relationships. If you are aware that you are broken, why did that brokenness not take up priority prior to involving oneself with intimately? This is the same question I had in my Wendy Williams commentary before this. Why do people, just in general, why do we avoid the work? Why? Why do we know we're broken? Why do we know we're fucked up? Why do we know all these things and yet entitle ourselves to people's lives? Why do we oftentimes have the means to resolve these inner issues and yet forfeit the time and the effort to do the spiritual, mental, and emotional surgery and then bulldoze into somebody else's life and then dump all of our shit there with the expectation that their proclamation to love us should be reflected in how much of our trauma and how much of our unresolved they can take and have the capacity for. And even though generations of human beings have behaved this way and engaged in relationships and love this way, this is exactly why most fucking marriages and relationships are completely and utterly fucked up. It's also exactly why so many generations of people have relationship trauma. And that we've engaged in erroneous, upside down ass relationship practices that have led to us normalizing the sunken place. And then when people speaking to us about what's healthy and what's well, we think they fucking crazy. Like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. We have whole generations of humanity who have engaged in intimate partnership from this particular context. That I'm broken and somebody else should have space in their wellness for that which don't even have to be in us. So why, yet alone, should it be in somebody else's wagon? It shouldn't even be in our own. I have a motto. Not only am I not putting up with your shit, I ain't putting up with mine either. my pendulum swings both ways. Not only am I putting up with your shit, I ain't putting up with my shit. And that's why I would click, clack, and off a relationship in a minute. Well, not in a minute. But over the right things, bye. Because this is the thing. Tony the Closer is a good man. I truly believe that. I wouldn't like him if I thought he was all fucked up. Because I don't. I think what he's done for his life, what he's done for the community, and what he was even trying to accomplish in his relationship is really motherfucking epic. But if it's true that nobody's perfect, then it means that there's room for positive and constructive critique nonetheless. And somebody does need to tell Tony, and if I have to be that person I am today, that these are the things, my brother, that you have to deal with beforehand. Your partner is not it's not a trauma dumpster. And you have no more of a right to expect that from her as she does to expect that from you. Because men are not the only people who bring fuckery into a relationship. Women do it too. And y'all know we have these conversations all the fucking time on this platform. Whole panel discussions. Years of the shit. Talking about holding ourselves accountable. Doing the inner motherfucking work. Healing, becoming whole. Not only becoming whole before we become partners, becoming whole before we become parents. Because as I always say, year after year, day after day, week after week, month after month, all this shit shows up in our lives. And the sad part about it is that it shows up in our lives at times and in situations that mean the most to us. Baby, that ain't where you want your fuckery to show up at. Because you never know when your blessing gonna hit. This is why you always need to make sure that you're ready. That's why you always need to make sure you do the fucking work. You just may have met your husband. You just may have met your motherfucking wife. You may have just met whatever, manifested whatever. But whatever condition you in, is what's about to be reflected through your manifestation. And it's either going to break that manifestation or it's going to deepen and enhance that manifestation. We are taking it too easy on ourselves. The work we are doing and not doing is directly related to the outcomes and the quality of our self life and our interpersonal lives with other people. Black men, let me encourage us all, as always, do the work. Because it sounds like Tony wanted his interpersonal partner to also be an accountability partner. There are life coaches for that. There are therapists for that. That's not a role for your interpersonal partner. There's something else I think that was communicated that I want to expound upon too, because Tony is speaking for a lot of men. If I say I love you, it doesn't mean I expect you to be perfect. I understand I will have to go through shit. This is another misnomer. Shit should never be you violating my trust. Shit should be us not agreeing politically. Shit should be how to navigate your attitude when you on your bullshit, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Shit should be how to support you when you're in your temperament or when you've experienced disappointment. Shit shouldn't involve cheating. Shit shouldn't involve messing around. Shit shouldn't involve domestic violence. Like some of the things and I don't know what Tony is really communicating in these tweets, but I'm saying in general, some of the things that as a people we be literally expecting people to sit through is insane. It's insane. No. If that shit involves infidelity, if that shit involves violence, if that shit involves stealing, if that shit involves sexual abuse, if that shit involves anything that could fall within a crime, baby, we ain't about to go through shit. If that's what your shit is. If your shit is, we may have to navigate poverty because of circumstances. If your shit is, you may come down with an illness. You may gain or lose weight. If your shit is, you may change careers, and that career, the new career changes may involve us maybe having to uproot from the city and state we live in. Like, this is the type of shit that shit is supposed to be. Shit ain't supposed to be traumatizing shit. The real shit that we're supposed to be navigating together just should involve growing pains and navigating life together. Because the life can be unexpected. Life can be surprising. We can have a whole plan laid out for ourselves and then conditions shift things. That's the stuff that we navigate together. But we ain't supposed to be navigating traumatic shit. There's not supposed to be trauma going on between us. There's not supposed to be any type of coven breaking happening between us. The shit is supposed to be life. I need a partner who understands I've been through trauma. No, Tony, you have to understand that you've been through trauma. You have to put that trauma before a professional and get help. You don't need a partner who understands your trauma. You need a professional counselor and therapist to help you to heal your trauma so that you're trauma free, so that you have the tools to treat yourself and to manage yourself and go on as your best self in any relationship, whether it's platonic, interpersonal, romantic, etc. You're not being thrown away by someone else. You are throwing yourself away if you're not getting treatment for the trauma that you know exists. Tony would be a real ass nigga to continue to talk to me. Because y'all are now seeing another example of why it may be hard to have someone like me in your life, because I can love you and value you and also be honest with you. There's not a lot of people that can deal with that. And I love Tony. I hope he receives this whole commentary. Even if I got some of the details wrong because some of his tweets are ambiguous, but like I told him in the inbox, I only can extract what you laid out in your tweets. These are your tweets. You involved us in your business. You made these statements. What you mean by these statements might not be totally clear, but just take the meat from what I'm saying. Because I like Tony. Not that he needs me to like his ass, but I like him. And I respect him. And I'm saddened that him and his girl are not together, as I said in the beginning. Because I really do think that Tony loves her. But I always tell people, especially in this society where we have trauma, you know, where we're getting comfortable with the word trauma, talking about trauma, acknowledging trauma, that two things are true at the same time. You can love somebody and be toxic. You can love someone and have toxicity. You know why? Because love is separate from the vessel, which is why love will shine even through a broken prism. That light may come out fragmented on the other end, but that light will shine through nonetheless. But a part of love is healing. And not just having love for others, but having love for ourselves. And sometimes we can be wounded healers and wounded lovers. So I understand what he's saying, that he's not perfect. This is his flawed way of acknowledging I'm not perfect. All the more reason why you have to be responsible for your imperfections. And you have to make yourself better, so that you are a completely competent, effective, interpersonal partner to the other individual who has no obligation to make space for one's trauma, who has no obligation to make space for one's coven breaking. We should take up the mantle of making ourselves well before we give ourselves to anybody. For instance, all the active friendships that I have right now, that's it for right now. I'm aware that I'm not in a place to build new friendships with new people. So I keep my distance. And I have people right now ferociously fighting to build a relationship to me. But I'm aware that I have gone through certain things that have put a souring taste in my mouth about new people. So instead of participating and moving forward in relationships where I know I'm not ready to trust people, I'm not ready to really let people in again, I don't, because that's the responsible thing to do. And before I even decide to embark upon letting new people into my life, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to address all the things that have had me build up a defense mechanism so that when I step forward and step into those new relationships, I can be truly available, because it's not fair to myself or to the other person to step in knowing that I'm going to be half-assed, that I'm going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that I'm not going to be entirely present. That's the level of self-awareness we need. It's not fair to ourselves and to other people to try to have our cake and eat it too. It's not other people's responsible to put up with our bullshit. If we're scared, we need to stay away from people. If we don't trust people, we need to stay away from people. If we don't like people, we need to stay away from people. If we can't see the good in people, we need to stay away from people. It is not fair to us or to others to deal with manipulation and being all over the place and sending out mixed signals, doing all this back and forth, in and out. Be aware of yourself and then operate accordingly to what you know to be true about yourself right now. And then when you wish to change it, actually change your bottom line so that when you go forth to do whatever you do, to remarry again, to start dating again, that you can do that on clear, fair grounds. Because people deserve better than that from us. People deserve to be encountering somebody who is just as optimistic and hopeful as they are, who are just as ready as they are. And that's a responsibility that we have to, once again, hold ourselves to. We got to get out of deceiving others and more so deceiving ourselves. Because when we're deceiving others, we're truly actually deceiving ourselves. We're only deceiving others because we are deceptive in ourselves about ourselves. And it might happen on an unconscious level. It's time for Black men to set themselves free and to give themselves the quality of life that they absolutely deserve, which is through self-love and self-actualization. It's time for Black women to do the same, to give themselves permission to indulge in the highest quality of life, which comes through self-love and self-actuality. It is time for us to divorce this idea that we have to be trauma partners in this thing. It's time to stop conflating romantic relationships with trauma bonds. It's time to set the bar not only higher for others, but set it just as high for ourselves. It's time for us to be as pure of heart and to be as of open heart and to be as of high vibrational as we desire other people to be as safe as we desire ourselves to be with other individuals. It's time to divorce this idea that people should make space in the lives that they've carved out and the sacrifices that they've made in order to be well, just to make space for our unwellness. That's not okay. And we should not want that for anybody else in our lives. If I'm in a badass, if I'm having a badass day, you know what I don't do? I don't answer my phone for people that I love. They don't deserve that. If I don't want to be bothered with my damn self on today, I don't expect anybody else to have to be, and I don't make myself available. If I can't show up and be well and make someone's experience of me well, then I don't show up at all. It is not other people's responsibility to put up with me because they love me. And even if they were willing to, because I know that's not proper, I'm not going to allow them to. Life is hard enough as it fucking is. The last thing people need is toting around our shit when they got enough of their own to push through. We're in a new era. This is the new dawn. And this is the era of healing. This is the era of loving myself enough to love and to be loved. These relationships to ourselves are central. And there's no getting away and getting around it. My fear is that if Tony proceeds with this attitude that his partner, whomever that will be in the future, etc., is somebody who needs to be able to deal with his trauma, that he will just repeat his experience. That he will be, unbeknownst to him, sabotaging his own dreams romantically. His own dreams to have a successful, long-standing, intimate relationship. And let me tell black men something about this new version of black women, baby. Let me tell y'all, honey, these women, they know who the fuck they is. And these women have worked out millennial of not only anecdotal trauma, but ancestral trauma in their cellular memory. And in the words of Kamala, baby, they ain't going back. Baby, so this is the wrong time, baby, for black men to be thinking that woman is about to be putting up with a damn thing, baby, because women have entered into an era and entered into a level of self and a level of work ethic in themselves that they ain't got no time for your ass if you coming with anything less, baby, than what they've carved out in their own reality, baby. If you ain't matching that energy, your ass good is gone, baby. This is the wrong era of black women to be playing with, bitch. This is the wrong motherfucking era of women to be playing with, baby. So black men, baby, I hope y'all are studying women as they're making their grand exodus out of Traumaville, as they're making their way to the promised land of all things good, of a land that overfloweth with milk and honey, baby. And pull one out of woman's book right now, baby. Because women are on the trajectory of all they deserve. And they're putting in the work to make sure that they get there if nobody else does, baby. Because they clear about what this should look like for them. And black men, we should be on the same pathway. This ain't about accommodating trauma, baby. This is the era of being delivered and set free from that shit. The days of being in fucking trauma are over. It's time to rebuke that shit, exercise that shit, and work through and through, by and by, to say goodbye. Enough Black lives, enough generations of people have been destroyed as a result of accommodating trauma and bad behavior. It is time to let it go. Set my motherfucking people free. Pharaoh. Reckless, anything you want to add before we wrap?
That is it, guys. No.
You sure?
No, I'm good.
What would you do if you were a Nichole?
Let time tell.
What would you do if you were Tony?
Lean into it. Lean into really apologizing and actually getting like clarity. And really, for me, you're no, because especially with situations and stuff, I try to like rethink or always try to analyze the best way I can try to conceive. Really get my message across to how I feel the best way that I can, so the other person can understand fully what I'm saying. So I'll be like, if I say it like that, then they might take it like this, and they might get triggered, or they might get mad. So I might not say it that way. Then let me say it like this, because for me, my goal is, especially if my objective is to get my message understood, then I try to find the best way to articulate that. Now, that does not always mean that's always going to be successful, because I cannot control how people may understand my message. But I think I would probably more than likely lean into it. Now that does not mean, if I'm going with the context that there's a misunderstanding and what she's saying or what she is saying that has happened was not fully the truth, and what he's saying is more of the context, but she's not understanding that, whatever the case is, then I will probably lean more into it. But at the same time, I probably would be agitated, like, man, what the fuck? But I would probably more than likely lean into it, honestly. But
yeah, my advice to Tony is, if you love her and you wanna, don't make this her fault. Don't even line your sentence up to make it sound like that. Make this all about you. Make this all about your empathy, your compassion, your understanding, your overstanding. And let me tell you how, because I'm glad we segue super quick. Let me tell you, Tony, this also how you know she loves you. At some point, too. At some point. But because you the one that done caused the breakdown right now, that point ain't gonna be no time soon. But at some point, she will, if she loves you, she'll be interested in the conversation around your needs as well. Because what partners don't do is neglect each other's needs. Not neglect it. We may have to find a different way to provide for each other's needs if we can't do that in the way in which we have been accustomed to, but we don't abandon our partners. You won't have to beg her for that conversation, and you won't have to beg her to acknowledge your needs. If she loves you, she will be just as interested and passionate in and of herself to take heed and to be invested in understanding what you need to be well. Because I think there's also implications in what Tony said about his needs not being met after he's communicated it. But I want to be clear. I'm not saying that is an excuse for anything, because it's not. But it establishes that it seems like both partners have went about something wrong in this situation. But because of the situation around his phone and the content therein and all of this shit, and Tony must be under the impression that he's wrong, because he the one begging. He the one who going to the house. He the one who sending flowers and everything else and apologizing and da-da-da-da-da-da. Stay there. Stay there. If this your wife, this your woman to be, this your soulmate, don't worry about her part. You worry about your part in this. You do the autopsy on how your actions co-created this circumstance in this relationship. If she is actually your soulmate as well, and she is your wife, she'll be doing the same thing on her end. She'll be self-reflecting. She'll be reconsidering. She'll be entertaining how she contributed to their relationship and the breakdown thereof. You two won't have to pull each other's hair to get each other to do that. Because when it's love and it's real and it's integral, that's something that just happens on both ends. So hopefully we get more information. Hopefully Tony will come forward and clear up or add more nuance to his tweets and what they really mean. Or hell, it might just be better for him to just not even deal with social media at this point and just let it be. Just let it be what the fuck it is. But we're wishing Tony and Nichole light and love. I know y'all are saying y'all want Nichole to run, but I feel like Tony is a good guy. And if he's willing to work on whatever his flaws and issues are in the relationship, then, you know, if that's in the highest good for them to be together, then that's what I want for them. If it's in their highest good to not be together, then that's what I want for them. But I hope that they both learn from this experience. And I want Tony to not take that trauma with him anymore, because now it has costed him something that means a lot to him. So now, Tony, as a result of you seeing how your trauma shows up in your personal life, I hope now that you mandate yourself to get in therapy and to deal with that trauma and resolve that trauma so that this stuff does not show up again in your future. Because if you don't treat it and you don't confront it and you don't get the tools to manage your trauma and to navigate your trauma, to heal your trauma, it will show up again. And it can show up in multiple areas of your life. So please, with you being aware that you have trauma, don't make that your partner's responsibility. Make it your therapist's responsibility. That's a role and a place for your therapist, brother. All right. If you guys enjoyed this commentary, all that good jazz, y'all already know the $ Cash App, PayPal.me/Consciouztv, all that good jazz, spelt just how it is on the platform. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. Tell me what you guys think below, etc. Sound off and get into the things shy. And I will see you all later. Make sure that you guys also subscribe to Reckless Logic. That's Reckless with 2 C's on both Instagram and YouTube. It's Instagram too. Reckless.
Yes.
All right. Make sure that you guys follow him. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.